was talking about, which is using Myfitnesspal when you are in menopause. So it's going to be different than if you were in your 20s or 30s. So what the biggest difference is that the macros aren't set for your success when you're in menopause. I'm just using just the free version. Or, well, no, actually, I use the paid version, but I've been using Myfitnesspal for a long time. So I think I'm only paying $10 a month for it. I think it's $15 now. The advantage between using free and paid, so all of my clients, my online clients, they're all using the free version. I don't have them get the paid version. All the women that are in my group program, they're all using the free version, so you don't need the paid. The only difference between paid is that it will show like the breakout of the numbers on each meal, and you can also change numbers for days. So like that was useful for me when I was in my dieting phase, because I was doing a 5-2 strategy, so I was having higher calories 5 days a week, no, lower calories 5 days a week, and then higher calories 2 days a week. And you can keep track of that on your own, but I was like, I'm this like perfectionist, and you don't have to be like that with Myfitnesspal or to lose weight, but that's just my personality type. And so I wanted to make sure that I was hitting my numbers. So that was the reason why I have the paid version. And so there's just a little bit of an advantage, but you can actually you can get around that pretty easily. So the first thing that you should do when you get Myfitnesspal, or if you haven't done it already, is when you get Myfitnesspal, have it set to lose 1 pound per week. And I know it's tempting to be like, wait, no, I want to lose 2 pounds per week, right? And that's going to put you into too deep of a deficit. That's like 1,000 calorie deficit. And that's where that 1,200 number comes from, right? And I'm always talking shit about 1,200 calories because you don't need to only lose 1,200 calories to lose weight. I mean, you don't need to eat only 1,200 calories to lose weight. In fact, it's going to be counterproductive because A, it's not enough calories. It's going to make you hungry. And at some point, your body is just going to be like, what are we doing? And your metabolism gets used to those lower calories. If you do that for too long, your metabolism is going to adapt unfavorably to that. So that would be something that would be appropriate for maybe 2 to 4 weeks if you needed to lose weight quickly, but you can't sustain that. So literally once you're done with that, then that weight is going to come back on. So that's why I don't do rapid weight loss for my clients. I don't want them hungry. I don't want them, always thinking about food all the time. My clients lose weight and they're not hungry, right? My clients are losing weight on 1,600 to 1,900 calories. So it's not, you don't have to go low cal. Maybe you're used to those lower calories, and so now your metabolism is used to those lower calories. So now you're stuck with your weight loss, but that's a different topic. So that's where you would be in a reverse dieting situation. So when you get Myfitnesspal, set it to lose 1 pound per week. That is a 500 calorie deficit from your maintenance. Now, Myfitnesspal does a pretty good job of setting your maintenance. My online calorie calculator does the same thing. So if you go to the link in my bio, it will give you your macros. It's a free online calorie calculator, and it will give you your macros, and it will tell you, it's going to give you your calories and your macros. So now what you do, you have it set to lose 1 pound per week. Now you have to go in and change the macros. So if you have Myfitnesspal right now, and I just realized, everybody, you're probably all on your phones watching this, so you're not going to be able to go to Myfitnesspal. So just a little reminder, I think I have a video on this on YouTube. I know I had like the menopause hacks. I'm pretty sure that it's on there. So go to Myfitnesspal, set it to lose 1 pound per week. And now you're going to go to goals. So calorie goals, and it will say macros by meal, I believe. Let me see. I think I have it on my iPad. I do. Which just happens to be right here because I'm just charging it on my slippers. So if you go, what you want to do is change your macros. So what happens is Myfitnesspal sets it for 20% protein, which is not enough. It sets it for 50% carbs, which is too much, and then 30% fat. So I like what it's doing with the fat macros, but I haven't used Myfitnesspal on my iPad in forever. Actually, this thing's pretty beat up. I just read on it. So I just want to know, I forget. I know it's like calories and macros by meal. So to figure out your macros, you can use my online calorie calculator, and that's going to give you how much protein you need, how much carbohydrates you need, and then how much fat you need. And then you can change those numbers in Myfitnesspal. So what you do is when you go to the home screen, what's going on? More. Okay. So home screen, and then there's 3 little dots at the bottom, and then it says home. And so this is like what the home screen looks like. And I know it's probably backwards, but halfway down, it says goals, or not even halfway down, like a few lines down, it says goals. So you're going to go to goals, and this is where it asks you to put your starting weight in, your current weight, your goal weight, and your weekly goal. And so on here, put to lose 1 pound per week, not more than that. And then it's going to ask you for your activity level. And so put that in on like what you kind of average out. Can you interact with the viewers? Yes? Am I missing some comments here? No. Okay. Sounds complicated. It's really not. It really isn't. And then you're going to go to the nutrition goals here. And so it says calorie, carbs, protein, and fat goals. So that's the one that you want to go to. And so for me, my calories are 1975. So I'm eating 220 grams of carbs, 150 grams of protein. Actually, I need to update that because I'm actually higher on protein. And 55 grams of fat, so I'm a little bit higher than that too. So I got to change mine. But so this is what you would want to change, because the default of Myfitnesspal is, like I said earlier, 20% protein, 50% carbs, and 25% fat. So even mine is off. I gotta raise mine. So so then you just go in and you just change those numbers to reflect what it says in the calorie calculator rate that you do for mine. So that is going to be like the number one thing that you do. And then as far as different tips and tricks, definitely want to set that for that lower fat loss rate, because it's actually when you go into too far of a deficit, so now we're just looking at weight loss, right? Which doesn't necessarily translate to fat loss. So I have my clients focusing on fat loss. So I want to make sure that they're not losing muscle at the same time that they are losing fat. So that, when you have that rapid weight loss, that is not just fat, that's also muscle. And then when you put weight back on, the muscle is gone and you're putting it all back on as fat. And so you keep repeating that cycle over and over for years, which is what I did. And I ended up with this body comp that was like, what is this body? This is not the body that I am looking for, because I was constantly dieting and then gaining the weight back. Dieting, gaining the weight back. And it was like a rapid diet or a juice cleanse or some bullshit fast or something like that. So I would lose 5 pounds and then I would gain 5 pounds back. But what was happening was I was also decreasing muscle, but gaining the 5 pounds back was all fat. And so now it's like, I was like kind of had good shoulders, a little bit of a waist, a nice little booty. And then it just turned to like, blah, like nothing, right? Because everything that was coming on is fat, but most of it was storing around my belly. So 1950 is my maintenance calories. So pretty soon I'll be going into a building phase. So that's going to look like probably like 2100 calories. So in my case, it's just going to be more carbs than that. So just to put on a little bit more muscle onto my frame. So it's really hard, guys, ladies, it's really hard to put muscle on, and especially when you're not eating enough calories. So maintenance for me is right around 1950. I could probably gain a little bit of muscle, but it's not enough calories to put on an appreciable amount of muscle. So basically, maintaining is just maintaining, right? I'm not losing weight and I'm not gaining weight. Maintenance is a great place to be because you don't have to worry so much about the calories. You could be like, say one day you're like, I'm just not that hungry, only had 1,800 calories. Or another day when you go over your calories, right? You ate 2,100 calories. It doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. It's like a drop in an ocean, So Thanksgiving, I didn't track at all. I actually wouldn't be tracking my calories at all in Myfitnesspal, except for that my clients follow me. They can see like what I'm eating, and my group coaching program, they can all see that. So I want them to see like what the ideas are. I mean, I'm eating the same crap pretty much all the time. So just to make it easier. So I know you have the knowledge, but you can't answer a question. What? I don't see a question. What's the question, Susan? You're welcome, Andrea. So basically, I highly recommend that you find some meals that you can duplicate that work in your macros. And then a super easy hack on that is when you go, say you find a meal that you like and you're like, you know what, that could be a bomb breakfast. I could eat that 3 times a week. If you go down to the very bottom of where that meal is, so you've entered everything into the day, and then at the very bottom, there's like 3 little dots. And on that, it will say you can save that as a meal. And so name that. So like name that as your breakfast. And then you can just pop that in for every breakfast. Like the next time you have that, if you don't have the same thing every day, then you can just say, put in that meal. Or you can copy and paste, like it's not copy and paste, but you can copy from date or you can copy to date. So say you have leftovers from dinner tonight. You can take that meal that you already put in and then put it in for your meal tomorrow, like for lunch tomorrow. So you've helped me a lot. I'm lifting weights 3 times a week with the trainer. Boom. Nice. I love it. I love it. Susan, I don't see any questions. So I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so what's another hack that, oh shoot, I deleted something. I don't know. I'll have to figure out what that was. I'll have to figure out what that was. But, getting in the amount of protein that my calorie calculator is going to recommend is probably going to be hard at first. And I don't expect you to be able to get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight at first, right? Because it's really hard. But just know that you are reaching for that goal. The reason why protein is so high is because that is beneficial for women that are going through menopause. You are losing muscle if you're not actively working on it. And if you're always in a diet, then your body is depleting the muscle. So it's going to retain fat on your body, but it's going to take the muscle off. And so that, ladies, is what's happening to your body. We're all blaming menopause. Menopause just puts like a spotlight on what you're doing in your lifestyle. So usually we're super stressed. That's a huge factor in weight loss. Stress will have you hold on to that weight rather than releasing it. If you were less stressed, then you would be able to lose weight quicker. Stress just causes you to hold on to that. So, lifestyle is definitely an issue. I find women aren't drinking enough water. Definitely want to drink water. A lot of, on my intake forms, it's like, how many ounces of water are you drinking? And they're like 0 to 24 ounces. It's like, that is not enough. You should be drinking, try to shoot for half of your body weight in water. And that's just going to help keep everything, fluid in your body. But with the macros, with Myfitnesspal, they just aren't, it's too skewed for you to lose weight effectively when you're in menopause. So it's too many carbs, and I'm definitely not a low carb person by any means, but it's favoring carbs over protein. So the profile looks like this, and then fat is here, when really it should be a little bit more even, right? So definitely want to have more protein, shooting for that 1 gram per pound of weight, and then body weight. And then bring carbs down. Like, you don't want to bring carbs down too low. It really depends on how much you weigh. So if you go to the calculator on my in my link, you will see for yourself like what that looks like, and go to maintenance from there. So from maintenance, I start my clients off at 300 calories, because if they start losing weight on 300 calorie deficit, then that's awesome. Then we're going to stay there, because I want my clients eating as much as possible and losing weight, because then if there's a stall, we have plenty of calories to take from. But you know, you guys, when you're you ladies, when you're putting in that you want to lose 2 pounds per week, well, shit, that's the bottom, right? You just boom, dump down to the bottom. What happens is your body gets used to those lower calories. So even with my clients, I'll have them diet in a fat loss phase for 10 to 12 weeks, and then we take a 2-week break. And so that resets maintenance, and so then they can start losing weight again, right? So it's almost always, your body just gets used to those calories. It starts to adapt. It gets that little hit. Your metabolism reacts to that. Your hormones come up a little bit. Dieting is a stress on the body. So some people are always in a diet. I know I was, but being in a diet is a stress for the body. So we want to take that stress off for a little bit, reset, reboot the metabolism, and then you go back into a fat loss phase. And so that's how you do it. You go in 10 to 12 weeks of fat loss. Some people might have a shorter fat loss phase, like 8 weeks, and then you could do like a 1-week diet break. But usually when I say to my clients, like, hey, let's take a 10 to 14 day diet break, and they're like, oh no, they get worried about it. Then it's like after day 10, I'm like, hey, you want to keep going? And they're like, yeah, we'll pull it through the weekend. So fat loss doesn't have to be so miserable. It doesn't have to be this slugfest of depletion and scarcity and not having foods that you want, right? That's just miserable. That's not fun. And so that's not what I do for my clients. I want them to be happy. I want them to enjoy the foods that they love. Yes, we might have to limit some of those foods and put like a little throttle on some things. You're not going to have a whole box of wheat thins, but that doesn't mean that you can't have wheat thins. It doesn't mean you can't have Oreos. You can have fire Cheetos. You can have wine. You can have those Ghirardelli peppermint chocolates, right? So whatever you want, you shouldn't have to take anything away. If anything, we're going to be adding in, right? We're going to be adding in protein. We're going to be adding in, making sure that you're getting enough vegetables, of course, fruit. Some people have eliminated fruit because it has sugar in it. Like, oh my God. So this is why I track macros, because once you start putting those foods in, you can see how they work for your diet. Like, you can be on a diet and still have all these foods. So for me, like, if I'm going to have a couple glasses of wine, then that means maybe I'm only having half a serving of mashed potatoes, or maybe only, like half a thing of rice or whatever. So I don't know, some notification just came up. So I'm hoping that this gets saved for so that I can put it up on YouTube. So I've been putting all these recordings up on YouTube, and like the past 4 haven't recorded. So if I weigh 200 pounds, I need to eat 200 grams of protein a day. So no, I wouldn't have you eating 200 grams of protein. I would shoot for like 150 to start, but I would probably top that out at like 170 grams. I eat 170 grams of protein per day. I'm 125, like I'm anywhere from 120 to 125. But, I think, I don't know how much protein you're eating now. Most women, when I get on the phone with them, they're like, oh, I eat plenty of protein. Oh, I eat protein all the time, and then they start tracking it and they're like, shit, I'm only eating 60 grams of protein, right? So it kind of depends on where you are. For all I know, you could already be eating 170 grams of protein. So maybe you could get that, but, I don't know, because I don't know you. So, but if you use my online calorie calculator, it's going to tell you, thank you so much. It's going to tell you how much protein to shoot for. And yeah, it's going to be around 0 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So, there's definitely some strategies to get there, but using a tool like Myfitnesspal is going to help you see like where is the protein coming from? Or I should say, where is it not coming from? Because a lot of times people will be like, oh, well, I'll just have some nuts or peanut butter, which is actually a fat source, right? So peanut butter, nuts, those are primarily a fat source and a good amount of calories. So with some protein. And then you have like the middle ground, like eggs, right? So eggs are a good protein source. They're not the best protein source because they're small, right? There are only 6 grams of protein per egg. And people are like, well, I eat 2 eggs a day. Well, great. That's only 12 grams of protein though, so that's not going to help you get to your goals. It's going to help a little bit, but what keeps coming up? I don't know what that is. But say you add, like maybe you put it on an English muffin. An English muffin has 5 grams of protein. An English muffin has almost more protein, it has almost as much protein as an egg. So put 2 eggs on an English muffin with some cheese and bacon, and now you have 5 to 6 grams of protein from in the bacon, and then another, actually I should say that's a little bit higher, like maybe 5 to 7 grams of protein in the bacon, 5 to 7 grams of protein in the cheese. And so now we're adding up, what is this? It's in TikTok universe too. Oh, I don't know. Something keeps coming up on my thing. They were inviting me to to go into the Rising Stars program, right? The top 20 TikTokers, and they're like having millions of viewers on their TikToks. I'm like, okay, all right. What if you're not lifting weights yet? Then what should macros look like? It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. It's still the same macros, right? I started a workout plan in August. I could definitely be better, but have been gaining. So, ooh, thank you. Thank you very much. So I would just start, Louise, with seeing how many calories you're eating, right? Because we can't really, we can't know where you are at until you are tracking. So, maybe you're not having enough on one day and then compensating by having too much on another day. Like that's pretty common. Thanks to you, plain Greek yogurt is a game changer for me now for a protein source. Yes. Awesome, Andrea. Yeah. So that actually is a game changer. And this is what I use. So I use plain non-fat Greek yogurt. Obviously, I don't have that up here. But this is the protein powder that I use. No, they're not paying me. I wish they were, but they are not. I buy this because it's delicious, but also because it has 26 grams of protein in one serving. It's only 120 calories. So this is mostly protein. There's only there's actually only half a gram of fat, 2 grams of carbs. The rest is protein. So 26 grams of protein. You put that in with a Greek yogurt, which has 17 grams of protein, and that's 43 grams of protein in a serving, in two ingredients, right? I add pineapple. I get the no sugar added pineapple cups, and I put that in, and so I call that like pineapple upside down cake. Quest is very sweet. If you don't like sweet, then you can use any protein source. I just happen to like that one because it is sweet and delicious. That salted caramel is bomb. You put that with the pineapple. I put the whole thing in because the scoop on that's like that big, right? So it's a lot of powder. Greek yogurt's pretty dry, so you need to add that, and then it's like this nice pudding, and 43 grams of protein, not a ton of calories. And it's like, if I'm trying to get in, so usually I'm like 150. Right now I'm higher on my protein. But if you're trying to get in 150 grams of protein and you just had 42 grams of protein, you only need to get like 108 grams left. What are good sources of vegan protein? It is possible, yeah. So I would just Google like high protein vegetarian sources, right? And see what you like on that list, because there is quite a bit on there. So definitely check that out. You need to try devotion. Oh, I was going to say Claire. I see Claire always recommends devotion, and there she is. Hey, girl. Do you want to come on? It says to invite. I'm just trying to lose weight, but really don't work out. So I'm just curious why you don't work out. Do you not like it? Oh, hey, I see you now. Do you not like to work out? Are you not sure what to do? Tell me more. And so, yeah, I think I'll have to try devotion. No, I'm almost in bed. Okay, no problem. Wait, you're in Texas. What do you mean? I thought you were in Texas. No? Or was that just a thing? You don't know what to do. All right. So, can you walk? Do you have a step, a way to track steps? Or maybe you could just do like a timed walk. No problem. So start you don't have to do this elaborate workout program. You can literally just start walking 10 minutes a day and try to shoot for that every day. And then the next week, maybe you go 12 minutes every day. And then the week after that, maybe you're going 14 minutes every day, and just kind of add on to that. So I don't know exactly where you are at. What do you recommend to track steps? So, I mean, an Apple Watch, whatever. This is a Garmin. I just got it because it was white and pink. But you know what? I have to tell you, I have been through, I'm a gadget girl. So I have been through a ton of trackers, and there's a lot. So it really depends on your style. I don't think you can go wrong with a Garmin or a Fitbit, or what's the other one? Apple Watch. I mean, I know those are kind of pricey, but you can get cheaper ones. I mean, you can even just put your phone in your pocket, and it will do that. I'm in Los Angeles, and yes, have an Apple Watch. All right, perfect. And so what I would do is just see what is your average of steps now, and just shoot from there. So it will say what your average of steps is. So just kind of increase from there. You don't have to, don't go nuts and double it or anything. You don't have to do 10,000 steps. I get in 7,000 steps, and sometimes for me that's a reach, because I sit here. This is my office. Sorry, my desk is a mess, but that's what I do all day, right? I am on the phone with clients. I am scheming TikTok videos. I'm consuming content. So I'm sitting on my butt a lot. The first thing that I do when I wake up is I go for a walk, and I make sure that I'm getting in a half an hour walk. So that gets me a good chunk of my steps. I come home, I have some coffee, I go to the gym, I work out. I don't do any work until all that stuff has been done. My walk and my gym routine, right? That is non-negotiable. Nobody's going to get in the way of me and my workouts, right? That's a priority to me. So I get home usually around 9, and then I start working right around 10. So I've kind of paced myself. I've figured out what works for me. So I am at 7,000 steps. So, go with what your average is now, and then build off of that. It doesn't make sense to shoot for this number that somebody else is doing, or that somebody said, oh, you have to do 10,000 steps. Why? For what? If you are somebody that's naturally active and busy, maybe your job has you doing 20,000 steps. My husband gets between he's almost 20,000 to 30,000 steps a day. He's a chef. He's always walking around, walk. So for him to only give 7,000 steps, he was I do that. I do that during the, lunch shift. So, and then there's a ton of programs online. Ladies, all the information is out there. It's just a matter of applying it, right? There's a ton of strength training workouts out there. You would want to have some dumbbells, right? A set of dumbbells and some resistance bands tubing. That's what I recommend for my clients. That's what I do for my ladies that are just starting. That's what I do for my Jumpstart program. A set of dumbbells and then some resistance bands. And yes, I have cost my ladies money, because they're my weights aren't heavy enough, right? Because I'm always saying, hey, you have to really lift a little bit heavier than a 5-pound dumbbell or a 10-pound dumbbell, because your body just gets used to that, right? And so now it's time to increase your weight. So Myfitnesspal is going to help you see how you can fit in the foods that you like into your day. So using the tips that I just used, right? Make sure you set your macros. You can find your macros here using my online calorie calculator. Myfitnesspal's macro recommendations are not going to help you lose weight, right? It's not going to help you lose fat. It's too much carbs, too many carbs, not enough protein. So we're just going to toggle that, right? We're going to raise protein, bring carbs down a little bit. I do not promote low carbs by any means. I don't do keto. I don't think that you should raise your fat over like just being predominantly fat. That's not for everybody. I'm not saying that it isn't a valuable resource for some people, but for most people, it's not going to be the thing to do, you know. And I see it, it's so weird. It's like every magazine, Good Housekeeping, you know, easy keto, Cheeto keto, and like this, and I'm like, oh my, you know, it's just a different version of, you know, they just tack on keto onto it, and it's like, you know, whatever. I joined late. Can you go over the macros again, please? So, yeah. Keto raised my liver enzymes, so you're right about keto. Yeah, it's not for everybody. You know, there's a certain population that it's going to be beneficial for, and that's something when you have, you know, some medical reasons, or if you know, some people do react better on a higher fat diet, but it's such a small population. It really is. So it's not the best. Some people do well when they are on lower carbs, but that's for their life. Like that's for them, for their lifestyle. That's not for weight loss, right? And people are using keto as for weight loss when these people actually have some medical problems. All right, so if you go to my online calorie calculator, that is going to calculate your macros for you. And then you go into Myfitnesspal and change the macros into Myfitnesspal, because what it recommends isn't going to be beneficial for you to lose weight when you are in menopause. So I'm getting some questions here. All right, so I hope that answered your question. I wasn't really going over like macros. All right, so what should protein be? I am using, I guess what Myfitnesspal has said as a default. Okay, so I did just answer that question. It's going to be right around 1 gram per pound of body weight. I've been trying to eat higher protein, low carb. Nice. All right, yeah. So that is definitely beneficial, right? And the reason why it doesn't have to be, it really doesn't have to be. You know, it's a matter of nutrition and lifestyle. So, you know, it's not, I think when we're trying to lose weight so hard that maybe we're definitely like lowering calories too low. So that seems to be the case for a lot of women. Other women just don't have any idea like what they're eating, and maybe they could bring calories down a little bit. Like, please, if you are one of those women, please let me help you, because right now all my ladies are in a reverse diet and they're not happy about it, right? Which is kind of weird, because once you're in a reverse diet, like you're gonna, all the symptoms of like fatigue, like no energy, brain fog, memory loss, low libido, digestion issues, sleep issues, those all go away when you start bringing on more calories, you know. But they're like, but when am I going to start losing weight? I'm like, are you kidding? You have more energy. You are in a better mood. You're sleeping better. So I get it. This is what I'm coaching all my ladies through. So, but gosh darn it, wouldn't I just love to have a client that says, I just don't know what I eat. I think I might be overeating. I'd be like, oh, hallelujah. So, all right, I'm 45, mom of 4, youngest is 1. I am overweight, have PCOS. I just found out LDL is 170. So yeah, then I would definitely talk to the doctors, right? And hopefully you can find somebody that is specializing in PCOS. One of my friends is a coach. She does PCOS. I don't do PCOS, I mean, I do, but you know, there's a lot more that you have to do with PCOS, right? Managing stress. There's definitely some certain foods that you want to make sure you're having, certain foods that you don't want to have. So she is a specialty in that. Hashimoto's. I don't do that. I used to, and I don't want to eliminate anything from somebody's diet. So like definitely you would want to look for somebody who's more leaning more towards that. I have worked with clients like that, but it's not my specialty. So me trying to eat 20 plus grams of protein each meal and lower carb, lower fat. All right, so I don't know how much you weigh. So 20 grams of protein per meal is about 60 grams of protein per day. 150-pound woman would need 150 grams of protein per day. So that's looking more like 50 grams of protein per meal. So check out my calorie calculator, see what it says, and then see if you can get like a little bit higher in your protein goals. 168 as of today. I'm 5'1". So yeah, so 168. But if you're only at 20 right now, right? If you're only at 60 grams of protein right now, then it's gonna be really hard for you to get 168. So I would just do that slow. Just start adding on a little bit more, a little bit more, and a little bit more, and just. This is why Myfitnesspal is so beneficial, because it's like, well, what is protein, right? What do you put in, right? And so I think a lot of times people make a sandwich and it's only using 2 ounces of deli meat, or, you know, just a small amount of chicken. And really it just needs to be a little bit bigger. The benefit of protein is it's very satiating. It's going to keep you full longer. You're not going to be hungry and snackety. And also, in the digestion process, you are burning more calories through the digestion process than you would. That's because of the thermogenic effect of food. And you burn more calories digesting protein than any of the other macros. And you don't store protein as readily as you do carbs. Carbs that don't get used get stored as fat, right? Protein, all the amino acids get shuttled into the muscles. That's why you want to make sure you're having quality animal protein sources. You can't just rely on protein powders. You know, I showed this Quest protein powder earlier. You know, I have one of those, like a scoop of that, not every single day, but you know, if you think that you're just going to have 3 of those, right, that's not the point, because that's a fast digesting protein, so you're not going to get that burn. So make sure that you are having a variety of animal protein sources: dairy, eggs, cheese. Well, that's dairy. You know, you can do things like edamame has a lot of protein. Beans has a lot of protein. There are pastas that have high protein. That's because they're like black bean spaghetti and edamame. And then of course you have your meats, and those are going to be the biggest bang for your buck, right? A 6-ounce chicken breast has 37 grams of protein in it. So like that is going to get you to your protein goals faster. So for me, like if I'm making a sandwich, I'm going to have 6 ounces of meat on my sandwich. If I have a salad, I'm going to have 6, maybe to 8 ounces of meat. For me, like if you guys looked at Myfitnesspal, right? And so my online clients can see my Myfitnesspal. And so they're like, holy moly, because they see what I'm eating. They see I'm getting anywhere from 50 to 70 grams of protein per meal, right? And I want to front load that protein, because now I'm setting myself up so I'm not going to be hungry all day. I won't have lunch until like 1. I have 2 breakfasts. I have my pre-workout, I have my after workout, I have my lunch, and then I have dinner. Sometimes when I get to dinner, I only need like 20 or 30 grams of protein. So I can't get rid of the last 10 pounds. Why? I'm 47, very active, but can't lose the last 10 pounds. So I don't know why. I don't know what you're doing for activity. I don't know how many calories you're having. I don't know how much protein you're eating. So one of the things I would look at is, what are your calories at? How much protein are you getting? What are you doing for activity? Maybe you're doing too much. You said you're very active, so maybe you are not eating enough calories. I find this one a lot. In fact, that is the bulk of my clients right now. They're just burning way too much. So if you're doing, I'm not sure what the activity is that you're doing, so I'm not gonna keep rattling on about that. But all right, so I think I have gone over Myfitnesspal. It's beneficial for you because you can see, like, hey, if you have a piece of chocolate, or you have that banana that is supposed to be so bad for you, or if you have an English muffin with real butter on it, right? You can see what it's going to do to your macros, right? Macros are just calories, are just the way where the calories are coming from. So think of it like as your bank, as your bank. Here's the amount of fat that you can have, the amount of carbs that you can have, and the amount of protein that you can have. Well, you have to have the foods, they have to go in there. So you start adding those things, see how they stack up, and then you realize, like, well, you know, I could have been having, are you kidding me? I could have been having toast with butter all my life, you know, instead of like eliminating it for the past 20 years or whatever. So, you know, I've have people that are like, oh my God, I haven't had fruit in so long. And I'm like, oh man, you know, if your maintenance is 2,000 calories and you've been eating 1,200 calories, guess what? And now you're stuck with, you can't lose weight. That's because your metabolism is used to those 1,200 calories now. So you are stuck. The thing is you can raise calories up to maintenance and not gain, and then you would be maintaining on 2,000. So would you rather be maintaining on 2,000, or do you want to sit here at this measly 1,200 calories not losing weight, right? Because you're not going to be able to lose weight unless you go lower in calories. Yet your body needs 2,000 calories. It says it, regardless of what you think that it needs 2,000 calories. You have a gap of 800 calories. You know how much nutrition that you aren't getting? How many micronutrients you're not getting in that by not having 800 calories? And then not on top of that, you're doing cardio. So then you're burning another 300 calories a day. Your body is looking for those calories too. And now it's not getting that. So now you're making that gap even bigger. And then you start to see the bad side effects of metabolic adaptation. And now we're looking at metabolic damage, which is not what you want. All right, what do we got? I run, walk every day. I eat 2 pieces of toast for breakfast, lunch, usually a salad, and dinner. So that doesn't sound like a lot to me of food. Like, if you guys could see what I eat. Oh my God. Let's see. So breakfast, 2 eggs. I have full fat whipped cream in my coffee. I had an English muffin. I had cheddar cheese. I had Greek yogurt. I had salted caramel, protein powder, and I had some pineapple. And I ate, something got deleted from here. Oh, cottage cheese. So that's 600 calories right there that I have for breakfast. And then my lunch. So what is this? This is from yesterday. I'm like, oh, I knew that didn't sound familiar. So I had a zucchini lasagna for lunch. That was 662 calories. Because I did have 8 ounces of ground beef with that. I had provolone cheese, I had the tomato sauce, and I had the zucchini. And then I had turkey for dinner, and a salad. Yeah, because I didn't need to get a whole bunch of calories. So I just had a salad with some turkey on it. And then my snacks, as per usual, is some kind of a chocolate and a couple of glasses of wine. So that is 1,950 calories. So if you are running and walking and doing all that activity, you're probably not getting enough calories. So I would definitely recommend that you figure out what your maintenance is and get a little bit closer to that, and then take 300 calories away from that after your body gets used to those higher calories, to the maintenance calories. Would be chicken and veggies. Dinner's chicken and veggies. Yeah. So I don't see a lot of carbs in there. I didn't hear about any rice or potatoes. You know, I did hear about toast, but, you know, you need those carbs for energy. And I got to wrap this up because I have my jumpstart call is in 5 minutes. So my ladies, they're on week 3. So I'll be talking to them about going over their Myfitnesspal. And so I do, this week is maybe an audit. We'll do a little audit on their Myfitnesspal and see, like, I can make some suggestions based on what they're already having. And, you know, that's what I do. I don't sit there and scroll through my clients' Myfitnesspal. I will ask them if they want me to make some suggestions, but I have them connected to a different app so I can see how much protein that they're getting and how many calories that they're getting, because that's really all I care about. Doesn't really matter what makes up those calories, but when you use Myfitnesspal, you'll see that you can have those things that you've eliminated out of your diet, right? The bagels and the cream cheese that you aren't having, the rice with butter, or the mashed potatoes with butter, right? You can have all of those things. It doesn't have to be freaking salad and chicken all the time. You know, it doesn't have to be just vegetables and chicken. So you can definitely have some more things and make your diet enjoyable and something that you look forward to, having the foods that you enjoy, you know? So that's what Myfitnesspal will do for you. That's what tracking macros does, is it helps you see where the calories are coming from. Yes, you want to be within that range of calories. And then for my ladies that are in menopause, I want to make sure that they're hitting their calorie goals. The carbs and the fats will take care of themselves. So if you have any questions, you can send me a message. Just make sure that you're following me, and then I'll follow you back. Because I don't think you can message me, and I can't message you back either. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll be back on Sunday night at 8 p.m. EST.